him down.
That's how you bounce back, baby. Consistency.
Every time they made a run, we answered. We stepped up to the challenge. Our defense, we were in there. We self-corrected when we needed to. All right, we communicated on the floor, multiple levels of effort. We were connected on both ends of the floor.
Everyone was wondering if the Indiana Fever were going to collapse when they faced the Atlanta Dream at Gainbridge Fieldhouse following 2 consecutive humiliating losses to teams they should have defeated. Caitlin Clark had recently made a full recovery. She and coach Stephanie White reportedly had intense confrontations, and Brittany Gurrier's repulsive remarks about Clark from their most recent encounter were still lingering. However, what followed wasn't merely a victory. It was a declaration. Not alone did the Fever defeat the Dream. In a performance that left everyone remembering why this squad has the potential to win a title, they completely destroyed them 99-82. Comment "I've got the Fever" if you agree with the statement. Come on.
Man, I think that everyone saw that we kind of got some flow when Kate was hurt and our offense was clicking. But now we have to have a new offense when she's in there because she just brings that much to the game. And so we have to adjust. And I think all of us just want it now. We know what the potential of this team can be, but we can't think about that. You really have to take day to day and stuff that worked here, we need to carry it over to tomorrow's game. We have a lot of games coming up in I think like 7 days or whatnot. And so it's mentally making sure that we're good. It's physically making sure we're getting recovery, making sure we're taking care of our bodies off the court. But we're trying to figure it out. And I think you guys see it. I think we're all a little frustrated.
Imagine this. After the Indiana Fever lost 2 games they ought to have won, supporters began to question whether their squad was in total disarray. The Golden State Valkyries and LA Sparks losses weren't merely setbacks, they served as alerts when there was a major issue with this roster. When Dairis Dantas missed a few games to play for the Brazilian national team and Caitlin Clark had a groin injury, the mayhem began. All of a sudden, the lineup was thrown into total chaos. Players were being shifted around after they had settled into a groove. Previously effective rotations ceased to make sense. It was said that the team was a little frustrated, and every night it was evident on the court.
Kind of alluded to it earlier, but how difficult has it been? Does it feel like you guys have had to toggle back and forth between identities with you said like Caitlin out, Caitlin's back, Caitlin out now, back and forth sort of thing?
Yeah, and it's no one's fault. I mean, no one wants to see anyone injured, right? And it's when she is playing with us, we play a different style of basketball, and it's almost like 2 different teams, right? When she's with us, you play a different style. When she's hurt, which hopefully she's done being hurt, Lord, please hear us. And then we play a whole nother different style. But I do think that once we catch rhythm with her in, we're going to be really, really good. But we can't just keep saying it. You got to put your money where your mouth is.
The goal of coach Stephanie White's basketball strategy was to control the pace, grind out possessions, and play slow, methodical basketball. However, Clark was working hard to develop a quick-paced offense that would highlight her amazing passing and court vision. This was more than a small argument. There was a fundamental disagreement about the team's style of play. Depending on whether Clark was on the floor or not, the squad appeared to be playing as 2 distinct teams. The Fever's frustration peaked during those defeats to teams they ought to have easily defeated. The players' positions on the floor were unclear to them. There was none of the lovely ball movement that distinguished this team. All of this was exacerbated by Clark's shooting slump. Over the course of 5 games, she was only shooting 28.9% from the field and 11.4% from three-point range. This is where things start to become pretty intriguing. There were rumors that Clark and White had a heated argument during practice sessions. These were not cordial coaching exchanges. Everyone on the team could hear these heated arguments on player roles and tactics. Everyone could tell that something had to give before the team totally collapsed, and the stress was increasing daily.
They're a great team, the Valkyries, but it's not to our standard. And so we're running out of time, to be honest. And I think that it's going to light a fire under our butts. And so hopefully you'll see kind of that energy shift tomorrow.
This team's entire season would depend on what transpired during that Atlanta Dream game. Either a total breakdown or the kind of groundbreaking performance that winners are known for were the possibilities. This was no longer solely about basketball. The question was whether the Fever could get over their inner conflicts and reveal their true potential to the outside world.
We're trying to figure out what's clicking, what's not clicking, what works for us defensively. But at the end of the day, I think what we can hang our hat on is not getting outworked, making sure that we're the aggressors, making sure that we're getting O boards, controlling what we can control. And I think we need to do a better job at that. And if we can do that, I think stuff offensively will open up for us.
You won't believe what transpired during halftime in that locker room. The discussion between Stephanie White and Caitlin Clark that was not intended for anyone to hear. Both sides of the floor were showing signs of dissatisfaction as the first half versus Atlanta wasn't going as planned. The team appeared disorganized once more, battling the same problems that had beset them during those humiliating defeats.
There were people at the game that have told me that this happened and they saw it. So, Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White were having a heated discussion at halftime.
Clark didn't hold back at the halftime break, according to team sources. She wanted rotational adjustments after voicing her worries about specific players. Clark reportedly instructed Stephanie White to seat Howard and Kelsey Mitchell since they don't pass. This wasn't only a recommendation. It was an outspoken criticism of the team's offensive play and the individuals causing the ball movement issues.
We're in the street as Caitlin Clark told White to sit Kelsey Mitchell and Howard because they don't pass. Could be true. Caitlin went to tie her shoe. Like, that is something that I noticed. Like, Caitlin literally, when Natasha Howard had the ball, she didn't even look. She was basically walking back on defense. She essentially walked back on defense every time Natasha Howard had the ball. And by the way, if you guys didn't see Natasha Howard looked off Caitlin Clark to end the third quarter. She looked off Caitlin Clark to end the third quarter in what was just incredibly dumb.
Other players could hear voices rising from the coaching area because the conversation became so heated. Everyone was aware that this was the team's make or break hack moment. You could sense that something significant was going to happen because of the high level of tension. This was not your typical coaching session. The course of the entire season would be decided by this contentious debate.
Look, Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White clearly like and respect one another, right? But that doesn't mean they always see eye to eye. And I am beginning to suspect more and more that there's a bit of a divide between the way that they see the game and the way that they think the Indiana Fever should play.
Clark wasn't merely whining about issues, which set her talk apart. She was demonstrating the leadership traits that made her a superstar and providing targeted solutions. She wasn't hesitant to point up to her coach the specific issues with the team's offensive rhythm. White was forced to make a decision at that very moment. She had two options: follow her initial strategy and hope for a change, or follow her best player's gut feelings about what the squad needed to win. The lovely thing about this moment was seeing two competitors who shared the same goal, winning, figure out a way to work together to achieve it.
You can just hear what they have to say and connect the dots a little bit. Not to mention, it didn't go well against the Golden State Valkyries. That was obvious to everybody, of course. Just a rough performance from the Fever. And on its own, that wouldn't be that big a deal. Clark just back, getting her acclimated, all those things. But it's these repeated statements or this issue that seems to be lingering under the surface when it comes to the team's offensive identity that is interesting.
Everyone would be able to watch if their intense debate produced tangible outcomes on the court in the second half, which would be the true test. There was no indication of dysfunction in that halftime dispute. At that point, a good squad began to develop into a fantastic one. Everything that transpired after that sincere talk was built on the chemistry that developed. Do you recall the repulsive remarks made by Brittany Griner regarding Caitlin Clark during their game of retaliation against the Atlanta Dream? The Fever made sure she paid for every single word. Gurrier did more than merely play physical defense in the previous meeting between these squads. Her verbal abuse went too far and was inappropriate for a professional basketball setting. Everyone was still thinking over their remarks when the Fever entered the court.
But we have heard nothing from the wnba, absolutely nothing.
Brittany Griner elbowing Caitlin Clark in a crazy way and then calling her a trash white girl.
And Brittany Griner has not commented, which I find significant. I've watched that video countless times, and it sure looks like Brittany Griner says, white girl.
The WNBA should investigate Brittany Griner seemingly uttering profanities about white girl.
You could sense the increased motivation in the air going into this game as the Fever players came together to support their unfairly singled out friend. This game wasn't your typical one from the regular season. It was intimate. The whole team was prepared to convey the message that you can't mess with their chemistry and expect to get away with it because they understood they had something to prove.
Loud, but it's really loud tonight. Clark, the hesitation, draws a foul, lays it in, and one, Caitlin Clark.
Sophie Cunningham came through in a big manner, playing with the kind of passion that makes a statement and recording a double-double with 16 points and 10 rebounds. Every possession demonstrated Cunningham's vigor and resolve. In addition to fighting for rebounds and diving for loose balls, she made sure that nobody could frighten the Fever. What transpired during their prior encounter was directly addressed in her presentation. The Fever's offensive surge was spearheaded by Kelsey Mitchell, who scored a whopping 25 points and demonstrated to Griner and everyone else that attacking a teammate only strengthens the group. Mitchell's ability to score was essential to the Fever's success in escaping the dream. She made shots from all across the court, demonstrating that outside distractions couldn't break the team's will and concentration.
Dribble penetration has been an issue for Indiana in defending that. They got to do a better job of guarding the ball and not worrying about the action. A hot, cold season for the Fever defensively as Mitchell slashes home a three. Here going in the first half. Jones, that's the handle underneath. Still 6 of 10 from the three-point line. Jordan Canada here tonight. Mitchell turns the corner, gets inside, bounces, Howard flips it in.
Clark demonstrated that her influence extends well beyond her ability to score points by managing 12 points and 9 assists, even when her shots weren't falling. Instead of settling for outside shots, Clark displayed newfound aggression by driving to the basket and earning fouls. She proved her worth even when she was having a shooting slump by facilitating the offense and creating plays for her teammates. She set the pace and gave everyone in her vicinity opportunity. The highlight of the game was seeing Aaliyah Boston drive the offense with 8 assists, 19 points, and 6 rebounds, transforming the Fever into an unstoppable passing force that Atlanta couldn't contain. Boston's ability to create plays was crucial to the team's increased ball movement and coordination. She was searching the court for open teammates and making the extra pass to create simple scoring opportunities.
Now here is Clark. Eyes ahead. Lob inside. Finds Boston right on the money.
It became evident by the end of the fourth quarter that this was a statement game rather than merely a victory. In the second half, the Fever outscored Atlanta 59-37, demonstrating their flexibility and ability to carry out their game plan. After a challenging first half, this impressive performance demonstrated their tenacity and capacity to overcome obstacles. By attacking one of their own, the Fever's 27 assists on 35 completed baskets demonstrated exactly what occurs when a team comes together. The team's ability to collaborate and generate scoring opportunities was demonstrated by that 77% assist percentage. Sophie Cunningham's statement, "This is a special group that we have, and so when we can just go out there and have fun and be competitors and feed off of each other, it's just easy," accurately encapsulated the occasion.
I just love it. I really do think this is a really unique and special team. In the locker room, we really do love each other. Like, we love spending time together. Our practices, I'm not going to lie, are long. And sometimes we have to hold hands and be like, hey, we're going to get through it. Right. But this is a team that I have never felt like this in the W. And I've been in it for 7 years. I know you've been in it for 8, you know. And so this is a special group that we have. And so when we can just go out there and have fun and be competitors and feed off of each other, it's just easy. And when people are smiling, like, you don't ever see Kels really get like that, but when we see her get like that, we're like, oh, yeah, like we're in it, you know what I mean? And when other teams see that, it's game over. And so we're our best when we're having fun.
This victory wasn't the only one. It served as a sneak peek at what winning teams look like when everything falls into place at the ideal time. The Fever's crushing victory over Atlanta, 99-82, demonstrated that they are capable of competing with any team in the league when this roster is healthy and playing as a unit. IT was evident in each defensive rotation, pass, and possession. When everything comes together, this team has something unique.
Our team kind of got in a groove. honestly, when Kate got hurt, and we were playing good offense, good defense, but we're a whole different team when she isn't. And so we have to learn how to adjust, how to get her involved, how to keep people who are hot. And so just kind of learning that and then staying consistent in that. But the things that we can control is our effort, our energy, boxing out, defensive scouts, and that's what we got to hang our hat on.
Here's a reality check, though. This season, they have only played 2 games with their entire roster. Take a moment to consider that. With everyone healthy, they have hardly had time to practice together. Nevertheless, they produced a performance that outperformed one of the league's top clubs. With additional time to develop chemistry and create reliable rotations, there is still a ton of untapped potential. When individual skill and team camaraderie come together, the 27 assists on 35 made baskets demonstrated exactly what happens. With a 77% assist percentage, opponents are rendered powerless in this type of basketball. Sophie Cunningham commented, "I really do think this is a really unique and special team and the locker room, which precisely encapsulated what makes this team different. We genuinely adore one another, as though we enjoy spending time together. This is a unique group that we possess. Therefore, it's simple when we can just go out there, have fun, compete, and support one another."
Yeah, I mean, it feels good. I think that our team has enough offensive threats that we should have 5 to 6 people in double figures every single night when we move the ball. When the ball's popping, we're a really hard team to guard. Again, we have to be disciplined on defense. We can get easy buckets in transition, but I think offensively, when the ball is popping, we're a hard team to guard in the W.
Beating Atlanta wasn't the only goal of this triumph. The goal is to demonstrate that the Fever could perform when it counted most despite internal conflicts and outside pressure, as championship teams do when times become tough. Coach Stephanie White acknowledged the team's process of learning to put the we before them. They can create reliable rotations and develop chemistry with over half of the season remaining. Just think of what this group could do. They demonstrated their offensive potency and adaptability by scoring 59 points in the second half, which was their greatest scoring half of the season. Fans got a sneak peek at what lies ahead thanks to the excitement and collaboration displayed during this game. A group that is not just gifted, but also united in their quest for excellence. Their narrative did not finish here. It was the start of something unique with a strong sense of champion.
It all starts with communication. It really starts at practice with defensive scout, locking in, knowing personnel, and we haven't been very good at that this year. You've seen spurts of it that we were really good, but again, our word is like consistency, together and consistency. And so for us, it's being aggressive at the point of attack, and I really do think that when we're aggressive from the jump, it sets a tone for the whole game. And so sucks to suck, it's on the starting 5 to kind of do that, so good luck, Kels. But I really do think that when we're in it together and we're aggressive on both ends, we're just a really tough team.
Not only was what transpired in the second half amazing, it served as a masterclass in how winning teams handle difficult situations. With 59 points in the last 24 minutes, the Fever tied their greatest scoring half in the previous 7 seasons and nearly doubled Atlanta's total. It wasn't a hot shooting night or luck. It was flawlessly executed. In those last 24 minutes, the Fever scored almost twice as many goals as Atlanta, demonstrating the kind of changes and play that set excellent teams apart from great ones. After Jordan Canada scorched them for 26 points in the first half, they shut them down. Championship teams do just that. They quickly identify and resolve issues. This win demonstrated that this roster has the skill and chemistry to compete with any team in the league when they are healthy and playing together. Fans got a preview of what the remainder of the 2025 season would hold as a complete roster by seeing the enthusiasm and teamwork on their faces throughout this game. Comment "I've got the Fever" if you agree with the statement. Turn on all notifications, like, and subscribe to ensure you don't miss anything. We'll see you in the next video. Click the video on the screen.